Wow, I am so excited and also nervous to be here at your school. First of all, I would like people out there to know who you are.
I am Mrs. Ndovie Vitumbiko. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the executive director for Mount Carmel Schools.
So you are the person behind all this?
Yeah, but I can't tell my story without mentioning my sister, Mrs. Judith Kumwenda.
Okay, who is Mrs. Judith Kumwenda?
Mrs. Judith Kumwenda is the founder of Mount Carmel Academy.
Okay.
All right. She is the visionary behind Mount Carmel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she founded this school in 2014 in Blantyre.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are running the school together?
Yes, we are running the school together.
Okay. But since I'm sitting with you, I would like to learn more about you. I understand you are a village woman.
Yes, partly I grew up a little bit some time in the village down in Katabe. I stayed with my grandmother down in the proper village setup. Okay. Yeah, and also my dad was a pastor. So we kind of moved also from one village or one place to the other. So I've been in Lwazi, I've been in Likoma, and I've been in Karonga as well. Okay. Yes. Wow.
The reason why I'm asking, because many people would think that when somebody grew up in the village, they wouldn't be able to pull out such an amazing school like this one or an amazing business like this one. You know, I'm so excited. That's why you see that I don't have any words, because what you have built here is something that I've never seen. It's the first time I'm seeing something so amazing like this one. What was your background? Did you go to the university, or tell me, what was your background?
All right, before you call it a business, we like to think of it as a ministry. Okay. We feel ours is a calling. Wow. Apart from being a business, but first and foremost, we are a ministry. We like to look at it that way. Yeah. You mentioned to say what a business. Yeah. Yeah. So before it's a business, we like to look at it as a ministry. It's a ministry. Yeah. We feel we're called by God. Yeah. Yeah. And this is part of our contribution to the community. Yeah. So I'm a professional accountant. Okay. Yeah, I studied accounting at Solusi University. Yes. And I have a number of other credentials. Yeah. Of other papers that I've acquired along the way. Yes. Yeah. Wow. And also, before we started this business, I also had to make sure that I know what I was getting into. So I also studied Montessori, because when we're funding this school, it was founded much more of a daycare. Okay. That parents would drop in their kids in the morning and then pick them up in the evening. So the curriculum that we've been using is activity-based. That was Montessori curriculum. Okay. Yeah.
I'm hearing Montessori, and you said you studied Montessori. What is Montessori?
All right, so there are many curriculums out there. So when the founder was founding this school, she had to look at different curriculums. Yes. Okay, like I've said, the motivation factor behind her founding Mount Carmel, she was looking for a school for a daughter. Yeah. So in the process of looking for a school for a daughter, she couldn't find a school that could exactly align with the principles and values that she wanted to instill in her children. Yes. So we can all agree that early years are important. Foundation is very important. If you lose it, it's almost impossible, to regain it. So as she was busy looking for the schools and she was not able to find one, and then she decided that probably I could start up something. Yeah. Okay, my children would learn at that school, and then there'll be other children from all walks of life who can also be part of that journey, and then she would ensure that there's strong monitoring. You know, sometimes also just leaving children at home with maids, people you don't know, just a one maid from a place you've gotten, maybe from the labor office, it's a risk. Okay, so you know, in a school setup there'll be several people, many eyes, so you feel at least the risk is lesser than just leaving a child with a maid at home. So that was also another motivation factor. Okay. And also she also saw the importance of Christian education. You know, in the traditional education, there's not much emphasis that will be put on instilling Christian values. So because we, like I've mentioned before, we are pastors' kids. So my dad indoctrinated us, you know, and we feel he did a good job in bringing us up. And I think much of that was partly because of the Christian background that was instilling in us. We're practicing, learning verses on a daily basis. We actually had a number of verses in our family house. He would get them screened on those. You know, a long time ago there would be small, what do you call it, screen printing. So he would screen print some verses, and those verses they live with us up to now, and they also inspire us. You know, growing up, sometimes life was really difficult. It was difficult to make ends meet, and sometimes my dad would go for a month maybe without a salary. So we would rely on God's word, and God has never failed. He has promised that He will supply our needs, and surely He has lived up to that. So we'd have those kind of verse, my God will supply all your needs. Okay, we would have verse that will encourage us as we're growing up. So my sister, at the time when she was found in that school, she wanted the children also to have that same kind of a background, and not to go to school and just learn about Harry Potters and whatnot, but to be able for the children to be indoctrinated at an early age. So when they grow up, they're responsible citizens. So we offer a holistic education that encompasses a child's whole development. I think what you are hearing behind is one of the character building session that's in session, because normally before we start our lessons on a daily basis, we do the character building. So that's just a sneak peek of
what you are doing.
What we're doing.
Wow, very interesting.
And also maybe just also to mention, as she was also looking for the schools, she found that good schools were expensive, you know, and by then she was working with ADRA. She studied environmental science. Of course, she has also done a number of courses in education now, being part of the education journey, but she was working with ADRA. And then you see that the schools that she kind of liked were very expensive. So she was like, okay, probably I'll come up with a small center. My children will go there for education. They will receive a Christian-based education. They'll be able to learn all the values and principles that I want to instill with them. And then it also a conducive learning environment. You cannot separate in the environment children learn. It also goes a long way in education. So she set up a very small, cozy environment for the children to be able to learn. Not just academics, but also because our center of programming is at the heart of the character building is at the heart of Mount Carmel. All right. So whilst we are teaching them academics, we're also ensuring that the Christian values are also instilled in them.
He will gather thy gems for His kingdom, or the pure ones, or the bright ones, His loved and His own. Like the stars of the morning, His bright crown adorning, they shall shine in their beauty, bright gems for His crown.
I think there's a lot that I'm going to learn today about your school and also how to run a school. In Malawi, we got this mentality that we think that when somebody can be able to do something like this, they have to have traveled outside Malawi. Did you travel outside Malawi to learn all this?
I've traveled before. I've spent about 10 years of my life in Zimbabwe. That's where I did part of my primary. I think from grade 3 to completing my whole primary education, I was in Zimbabwe. That's another story. We can tell next time. And then I also did my university in Zimbabwe. Of course, I was selected here at Polytechnic, but my dad gave me options to say, by then, you'll not be sure when you're going to finish your education. But at least if you go to university elsewhere, you know that if it's 4 years, you finish your education. So I've been out of the country. That's where I started. I'm an accountant by profession. And also when I was working for Médecins Sans Frontières, I also had the opportunity to travel to Paris, not for a long time, but I've been there. I've seen the beauty of Paris. And also when I was with UNDP, I also had the opportunity to travel for a short training in Addis Ababa, and also a month training in South Africa. And then I've been to Zambia just for a few other things, and also to see their falls in the Victoria Falls, and also to Zanzibar. But all of it was not necessary to learn about running a school business.
So what you're telling me is that you've been outside Malawi but on travel purposes, not for learning about school. So you are telling me that one can be able to build a school like this without even traveling or living outside Malawi?
Yes, it's possible. I think it's a driving force behind it. If you go back to what I was explaining about the Mount Carmel story, it is the background was to offer a conducive environment for the little ones, not before we even got to the primary and now the secondary. It was much of just a daycare center. So it was, when we began, it was quite a small school in Blantyre. And then, like I've mentioned before, Mrs. Kumenda started this school business in Blantyre. Like I'd like to say, we like to refer it as a ministry in Blantyre. That's 2014. And then here in Lilongwe, I started in 2018. So we were just trying to do a small, I mean, like for early years, you know, but we've seen God in our story. That's why Mount Carmel is God's story. We didn't dream it would arrive to this point. I think the very important step in life is to take a step, not to be afraid. And that step, you don't know where to lead you. You don't need to be afraid, because if Mrs. Kumenda was afraid, or if I was also afraid in 2018, because she said, okay, when parents move from Blantyre to Lilongwe, they say they'll miss Mount Carmel, because at Mount Carmel we believe in family ethics. Our family ethics are very important to us because we believe it helps success to happen. So we began small. So all businesses began small, and then with God's hand, everything is capable of growing. I think there's beauty in growing. Everything grows. You just need to do your best. So apart from the fact that I studied accounting, I'm a professional accountant, but then I had now, before we actually opened the Lilongwe campus, we'll take you to the other campus, by the way. Before we opened, where we began, there was a first house in the middle. There's a house this side, and then there's a primary block this side, but it was just the single block house in the middle where we started the story. But before the Lilongwe story, but before we started, opened the gates in September of 2018, I had to learn. So I had to attend Montessori, because you and I know that monitoring is a strong tool. Even if you'll hire qualified teachers and whatnot, but you still need to know. So everybody can learn. You don't need to necessarily have to go and study education. So you can learn for benefit from small courses. You can consult nowadays everything is on the internet. You can also say, okay, I want to do this business. I didn't go the higher levels, in this area, but you can gather small. You can begin doing those small courses. So that's what I did. So I did my background search of the school. But then I was already enjoying the fact that my sister had already set up one in Blantyre. So we're very close. My sister is my best friend. So it was easy transitioning for me in Lilongwe, because we just said, okay, I have this place. Okay, I open Mount Carmel, Lilongwe. Let's share shares. Rose, since you've been already in this for about 2 years, for about 2 years, how about you be the one in academics? I'm strong in finance, so you be managing the finances. So that's how it came up to. So it's more of a family. Okay, so I've been running this more of a family business or ministry. So that's how I came to learn about the curriculum. Like the Montessori curriculum is a very good curriculum because it's hands-on. It's not like every shoe is fitting one. A board and a teacher. Okay, there are lots of material. So when you go there, you see how our classroom looks like. We've got plenty learning materials.
Firstly, we are going to follow a procedure, and our roast potatoes are already prepared. Now we are just going to pour our warm water, and we are going to, that's enough. We are going to put our roast potatoes and soak them for 10 or 15 minutes. Then we are going to press them gently to release the color into the water.
Okay, so first of all, to make our indicator, we have to make sure we have all available materials, which from what I see, we have apart from the lemon juice and sodium hydroxide. Then we'll follow our indicators. So, Princess, could you please pour the water into the apparatus? Thank you. So we just have to wait for this to soak for a few minutes, usually 10 to 15, and please continue pressing them so that we squeeze out as much color as possible. Now we wait.
I would like you to look into the camera side and tell the parents out there why they should bring their child to go to Montessori school and then.
Well, Mount Carmel, we offer a holistic program that encompasses a child's whole development. Okay, our centers, we have qualified teachers, we have the materials, we have the experience. Like I've mentioned, this is over 11 years of us running this ministry, and you are sure that if you bring your children to Mount Carmel, you're looking not just at educating them the traditional way, but then you're going to also expose your child to an education system that also when they grow up, they're not just educated, but they've got values and principles that they can take out there in their workplaces. And also, we not just offer education, we've got also a lot of extracurricular activities. Okay, because we know that not every child is going to turn up to be a doctor, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel the world would be beautiful. The world is beautiful because we've got all other professions out there. So here at Mount Carmel, we believe that if your child is here, they're in safe hands. We're going to unleash the potential, the God-given potential, because every child, God has got a purpose for that child, and God has deposited something in that child. Our responsibility here in Mount Carmel is to ensure that we bring out that which God has deposited in their child, so they unleash their full potential. So we have a number of extracurricular activities. We have home economics, we have swimming, we have arts and crafts, we've got so many of them. And also, as you can see, our structure is very built for conducive for learning for the children. We have a lab, we'll take you there so that you can see. Okay. And we also have a library that you're also able to see. And then we have, I feel we are set and built to offer the best to the public here in Malawi. And we've received an overwhelming response from parents because of what we're doing.
Wow. Yeah. I'm so I'm so amazed. I would like to know who is a Mount Carmel student. Who is that student? If I come here, what would I be seeing in that student?
All right, so like we've said, a Mount Carmel gem is different from any other gems because we're instilling values in these children. We're instilling principles, and we're always telling our gems that they should represent Mount Carmel well wherever they go. So like I've said, apart from Mount Carmel gem is a very well social developed child. Okay. And also in academics, we really push in that aspect as well. We're not just pushing manners, we're not just pushing principles, we're also pushing for masters. We do a lot of projects here. If you visit our page, you'll see a lot of projects that we do with the little ones. Our children are able to learn how to present at very early ages. In the preschool, we have what we have show and tells, and then in the primary and high school, we have what we call presentations. So they've got very strong analytical skills, they've got very good project presentation skills. Okay, they're able to present. They are confident children. The curriculum that we're using is also very good because when God was continuing writing this story, we found ourselves running a primary, and then now we found ourselves running a secondary school. So we've been learning and also making sure that our children are developing holistically. So you see that even the curriculum itself, I mentioned about the Montessori curriculum in the preschool, we merge it with Cambridge. And then the primary curriculum, we're merging it with the local curriculum. Why? We want a child not to feel lost. You know, an international curriculum, we enable our children, if they might have that opportunity to travel outside, they should be able to relate and not feel lost. But then they shouldn't lose identity. Do you know that we are maybe one of the few few international schools in Malawi that are teaching Tichewa, and also that are teaching agriculture, that are teaching social skills and the rest of the other local subjects, because a child must be able to identify, this thing of saying, okay, because we want our children just to be able to speak English. We feel that's life. I feel like I've mentioned, I've lived in the village before. I loved it. It's me. I mean, God planted us in Malawi for a special purpose. So a child mustn't completely lose their identity, but also they must be exposed to the international world, that they might even have an opportunity to travel. So that's our primary school. Our programming is to ensure that they don't just feel lost. They can identify, if they're able to mingle with other children from the local curriculum, they should identify that they're Malawians as well. But our high school currently only have up to Form 1 and 2. You can call it year 8 and 7 is only Cambridge, because we feel by the time we are finishing with the children in the primary setup, it means they already have that culture in them. We've built a Malawian who can identify as a Malawian, and then we like them to progress with an international curriculum.
Malawians have got beautiful stories, and this is one of them. Now you can see, if you have got a vision, a dream, and you are passionate, you can actually achieve so much. This is an example of excellency in Malawi. If you wanted to start a school, you have seen yourself. Now we have given you an opportunity to learn on how to do this. But please keep on coming to this channel, subscribe so that you don't miss anything, because we haven't started yet. Your school, is it only inviting young kids from Malawi only, or you can also accept kids from outside the country? Okay,
that's a beautiful question. Actually, have children from all over in Malawi. It's not just Malawians that we have. So we have other children from across the borders as well here in Malawi. We are a school that is not just, we are not racist. We welcome everyone and of all religions. So our gates are open to everyone, being Malawian, Muslim. We've got some Muslim children here of any denomination. So our school is a school that is welcoming to the general public, and also it's a zero bullying zone. So our Mount Carmel is an engaging and exciting place for children to be and learn.
So for somebody who wants also to maybe start a school, what advice would you give them?
All right, I think when you want to start a business, it should be something that you enjoy to do. Well, I love small children, so even though we have 2 campuses, I still love that other campuses, because that's where I'm able to see the little ones. So you don't just go into a venture because of money. I think if you go into a venture because of money, if things are not going so well, which is another story that I must tell, because we've had challenges across the road. You would shut up because what you're looking to is just money. So for those that would like to start a school business, they should at least love children. They should also have a heart that they would like to contribute something to the community before money. Because when you have those, like I've said, for Mrs. Kumwenda, the founder, she founded it not because of money, but the motivation factor was to ensure that the children are receiving a holistic education. And also that's why Mount Carmel is not an expensive school. With the quality of education that we're offering, we are so lowly priced. So if you put your priorities right, you want to contribute something to humanity, already you are set for excelling, and money will follow with time. So they shouldn't be afraid. There are lots of children out there, and actually here in 49, especially where we are surrounded by big schools. There are many schools around here, but there are many children, and there's a place for everyone who'd want to start. God always brings a share of children and make sure he distributes the children according to all other schools. So I would say they shouldn't be afraid.
Okay.
They can join the industry and just ensure that they are in it not just for money but to contribute something.
Wow.
So they're going to love what they do.
Wow.
Yeah, every time I wake up and I'm going to school, I love my work. So when I resigned, I'm here full time, I'm happy.
Yes.
Yeah, but imagine if I would be in a setup whereby I'm not happy, even you wouldn't work hard.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I think when you know this is my calling, okay, I want to contribute this, I enjoy what I'm doing, I think the way you do things is kind of different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Now you see, we are learning so much. Here at the school, we are going to learn also how you can look after your school to make sure that you educate your children, and also the passion that people have when they want to start something like a school. So if you want to learn more from our channel, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and also leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Do you love this type of content that we are sharing with you right now? All right. In case somebody is in diaspora, because this channel, a lot of people are following because they're taking it as a learning platform to learn on what is happening here in Africa, what our fellow Africans are doing here in Africa. So they would want to know if they want to maybe start a business or they want to start a school, how they can start a school. But some of them don't even have the capacity to do that. Should somebody who is in diaspora, whether a Malawian or somewhere in Africa, want to start a school and they want to touch base with you to say, can you come to maybe Gambia and set up a school, help me set up a school? Are you open to that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Actually, even right here in Malawi, we've got a number of people that really approach us and to say, Mrs. Ndovie, I love what you're doing, because we have a Facebook account, so people see there.
Yes.
So we are also already a platform for learning. So we get approached. Okay, so we help others as well set up their schools. You know, I feel those of us in the school business, we are friends. Actually, from the surrounding schools, most of those that are running the schools are already my friends.
Yes.
Okay, so we've built a community that's welcoming. I mean, as school owners. So it's important to share. Actually, you can only get more by sharing, you know, and then even when you are sharing, you find out that you can still learn something from the other schools. So we are open, even if the other people that want advice, we're open to share them, and I'm sure they would also have some ideas that we'll learn from. Wow.
Running a school is something that maybe would need also to have some standards. I would like to know, how do you work hand in hand with the Minister of Education? How does it work?
You cannot just open a school with, you know, if you are in a country, you need to follow. Okay, you cannot just be operating in isolation. Okay, so there are bodies. So we are registered with the Ministry of Education. So with ISAMA and also many other small groups that are also into this school business. You cannot operate in isolation.
Wow. All right. So very soon we'll be going inside to see the school so that everybody can see what you have done here, because I can see everything is attention to detail. I love your school, and I'm actually very much passionate about the school. If I had a child, a little kid, I would have sent my child here. Unfortunately, all my children have finished school. You mentioned that your school fees are low. What is the setup of your school fees on the school?
Depending with the quality of education that we are offering. Remember, I said that the motivation factor also was to ensure that a Malawian, a basic Malawian, can also be able to send their child to a high-class school. All right, but then looking at the affordability of those high-class schools, that's where Mount Carmel comes in. So our fees are really lowly priced. For instance, for the preschool section, our fees is just 450,000 kwacha only. For the primary, is just as low as 460,000 kwacha only. And for a high school, it's as low as 650,000 kwacha only per term. So as you can see, we are very lowly priced, and we like to meet the general Malawian who's not able, but wants the child to experience a holistic approach to education. That wants the child to have a strong foundation, not just academically, but also spiritually, emotionally, and all other aspects. So that's why we are here. We are here to fill that gap.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's value for money indeed.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, you can see your child is getting the exposure, the education, they will learn how to swim. Most of us, I don't even know how to swim myself. Maybe I can come here to learn how to swim.
It's not too late to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah.
I
But
really
those
appreciate
extra curriculums do come at a cost.
Okay.
Yeah, they do come at a cost because, as you can see, currently we don't have a swimming pool here.
Yeah.
But the new campus where we are building,
Okay.
yeah, there is a plan that there will be a swimming pool there, and some of the extracurriculum activities also. We have to call professionals out there to come and work with the children, and also they come with expenses.
Yeah.
For example, art, you still need to buy to plan and buy those materials. So the extra curriculum also come with a cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. So maybe you will be able to take us in to see.
Yeah.
Or maybe do you have anything that you would like to say to the people from Malawi?
No, just to thank them.
Yeah.
The people of Malawi are the reasons why we are here, and there's also a reason why Mount Carmel is here.
Yeah.
Like, remember when I said I keep referring to Mrs. Kumwenda because she's the founder.
Yeah.
I joined in 2018,
Yeah.
but she's the founder. So she wanted to reach out to the Malawian children to be part of this journey.
Yeah.
Okay. This journey of nurturing precious gems for excellence. That's our motto.
Yeah.
We nurture the children for excellence here at Mount Carmel holistically. So instead of just her imparting that to her children, she opened the doors to the general public. So just to thank the general Malawian, we're always overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Most of our classrooms are full is because of the Malawians. So thank you, Malawians, especially to all Mount Carmel family. If you have the opportunity to listen to this interview, we thank you. We are so proud of you for choosing Mount Carmel, and may God continue blessing the entire Mount Carmel family, our learners, our teachers, and you there, our esteemed parents.
All right.
Yeah.
They say talk is cheap. Let's go inside and see.
Thank you very much.
So you said you were writing biography.
Yes.
So what is biography?
It's a story read about another person.
Oh, so you're learning how to write a story about another person.
Yes, like a celebrity.
A celebrity.
Yeah, like Lazarus Chakwera.
Like Lazarus Chakwera, our president.
Yes.
So you can be able to write his story.
Yeah.
Wow. So in the test examination itself, are you writing the actual story or what are you doing?
Yes, we're going to write a story. It can be a biography or a report.
Wow, this is amazing. So you can see the kids are also learning how to write biographies. So we are going to have writers in Malawi, those who could be able to write biographies and even novels. You never know. So we have the best novelists coming from this school. Wow, this is amazing.